everyone. Good morning to you all. Today we are on the UPSA campus,
where there's going to be a G6PD awareness campaign, which is going to be held by the development communicator students. And today we are here to grace the occasion, ask some few questions about what G6PD is, and then how the awareness creating is going, and then why G6PD. So stay tuned
as we interview a few of our students on what they think and what to expect from this event.
Do you think G6PD, this whole campaign, this whole awareness campaign, should be a one-time thing or it should be an annual thing, where development communicators each year are supposed to carry out a campaign?
Yes. So basically, I have no idea about G6PD, but thanks to this project, I've gotten a vast idea. I've gotten a vast idea about it. So I think it shouldn't end just here, but it should continue to go on, and then we should also educate other departments to also create awareness about it. So I don't think it should end here. I think we should continue.
That will be all for now. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So today we have with us a student attendee to the G6PD awareness campaign. Can you kindly tell us your name?
I'm not Ajele Adukuyano. I'm not Ajele Adukuyano.
So now, what are your expectations for this event? Because you went a long way to come in to sit here to join it. So what exactly do you expect from this event?
So planning this event, it actually gave us a lot of exposure, and we are hoping that the awareness we want to create will go out there. In other words, it will help save a lot of lives because it's a deficiency a lot of people don't know about.
So you want to make sure that this awareness is part of the students' body, that they know what it's about?
And beyond the students' body as well.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello everyone, we are still listening to Africa News. Today I'm here with
Trish
Atiebo.
Boateng. Yes.
So Trish, the first question I have for you today is, what do you think what is G6PD?
Okay, so G6PD is an inherited condition which is popularly seen in males and is life-threatening. It has an issue with the red blood cells, and so it's a lot, and people do not know a lot about it. So we are here to make the awareness massive and to make people know that G6PD is a life-threatening disease. Okay, so everyone should get tested and know their status now. So that is why we are so yes for that awareness. Thank you.
Okay. So what impact do you seek to achieve? Because I've seen the programs you've held and everything you've done. So what impact are we looking at here?
All right, so we are all about G6PD to make people know about this issue, because a lot of it's not known. Some people don't know what G6PD is, so we want to put it across there so that people will know that this is what G6PD is causing. A lot of deaths are caused by G6PD, and that is, we want to save lives. We want to save lives and protect them from this disease. So that is the impact we are going for, that a lot of people will know about this awareness and be careful, know their status now.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Why G6PD?
Okay, so G6PD is glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency, which is the breakdown of the red blood cells caused by lack of G6PD enzyme in the body. And then I know the symptoms are short of breathness, jaundice, dark urine, dizziness, seizure. And then the foods you should avoid are the fava beans, aspirin, sulfur, and soya products. Yes.
So I learned a lot of things, went into this program. So
okay.
What contributions were made? What sacrifices were made to make this program a success?
Me being a member of the sponsorship group to this campaign, I was given a personal letter for sponsorship. So I sent it to the various people in the community, like the MPs in this area.
And right now I'm here with
Glenda Kumiwood.
Okay, so Glenda, I learned you are also the team lead for the sponsorship queue.
Yes, please. Okay, I was honored with that position.
Okay, good. So since you are the team lead for the sponsorship queue, I have some few questions for you.
Sure.
First of all, I want to know, did you get any challenges whilst executing your function?
Yes, there was a bit of a challenge with getting the sponsorship because in today's times, when you go and send a letter or you even call the person, they are saying the economy is hard, there's this, there's that. Sometimes they don't even reply your emails, or even the letters you send, they never bring feedback or anything like that. It was a bit stressful in that area, that's all. Yeah.
And then looking at the success this program is turning out to be, do you think that this should be an annual something where development communication students pick up a project and then spread awareness about it?
Yes, I really do think this should be annual because usually students of universities have a difficult to practice what they've learned in school. The theories are too many, the practices are very little. So with this, it has opened our eyes to the fact that, oh, this is what you're supposed to do if you're in this team, this is what you're supposed to do when you're in this team, but all together you're supposed to look out for the success of the program. So this is going to benefit us a lot if it's annual for all those who are going to come as well. So I think the school should make it annual. It will be best for students like us. Thank you.
Okay, so G6PD is essentially glucose 6 hydrogenase deficiency. Basically, in a layman's term, it's essentially a condition that happens to your red blood cells. Their main job is to carry oxygenated blood to the other parts of the body. But then when G6PD deficiency sets in, you end up having the oxygenated blood not going to the parts of the body that is supposed to. So yes,
So
we
there
are.
are a lot of negative effects of having G6PD.
Yes. There are, you could say negative effects, but then I would say more like the effect of being ignorant. Ignorance in the sense that if you know what comprises G6PD, you will be able to avoid your triggers and then live a happy life. The condition has symptoms that are similar to some of the fevers around us, malaria, typhoid, and so on. So when you go to the hospital, they'll start treating for fever. They'll start giving you the malaria meds, they'll give you medications to get your body temperature to go down, for you to eat well, for you to get the strength. But then in the end, if you don't check and then know your status, for you to know that this is what is happening to you, you end up doing yourself more harm than good.
So what should we expect from this campaign
All right.
that you have organized?
So for the campaign that we are organizing, we are expecting that people will come on board. They will hear the news of G6PD. They will go to the nearest clinic or hospital laboratory next to them, and then they will get tested. We want people to know that this is serious, and then it is much serious because we find ourselves in Africa. We are more prone to it. So we want people to go out there, get tested, know their status, then they'll be able to live a much happier life.
So, per my little interaction with people, I realized that G6PD is a condition that people are not aware. I've met people who have lived with G6PD. They've gone through a lot of health issues, and without this knowledge, they've even attributed it to spirituality. A lot of people are in the prayer camps praying because they've not been diagnosed of what? Anemia, sickle cell. But oftentimes they have anemia, they have heart palpitation, they have this and that, weakness, dizziness, without them knowing that, of course, the food that they are consuming, that is causing that what? Weakness, which they think is another disease. Perhaps maybe where they went, they couldn't test for G6PD, so they are not really aware. Myself, for example, what really motivated me is when I met a woman sobbing, in fact crying, wailing in a hospital where she had lost a child because of G6PD. The child was G6PD deficient and she didn't know, and always we also advocate for giving the child soya bean, which is highly nutritious, giving the child beans, give the child this, nuts, and certain cereals, which are triggers of G6PD. Because they didn't know, she kept on feeding the child, and when she goes to the hospital too, because she didn't know, she couldn't tell the doctor that the child is G6PD deficient, and therefore she shouldn't be giving sulfur medicines. So while she feeds the child at home, he goes to hospital and they also add sulfur medicines to it. And because it's a child and the immune system isn't that strong, it ended in death. I've seen someone who has suffered from miscarriage due to G6PD because she had G6PD and she took sulfur, and the oxygen was carrying the red blood cells break down immediately, and I think due to her immune system, which is not that strong, she miscarried the baby. Myself, my mother went through a whole lot because she thought I have a strange disease. I have not been diagnosed of sickle cell, yet within every short interval, I have to go for blood transfusion. And the weakness associated with it, that I couldn't even walk at age 1, was so amazing. So she has to go to a prayer camp to fast for 7 days without food nor water. And when I recount all these things, that which is strictly medical, that she knowing she couldn't have fed me some of this food, I feel like, no, people should know about this. People should hear about it. People should go and test and know their status and avoid their triggers so they can live a happy, healthy life. So that is the motivation behind this project. And as development communicators, which we aim at communicating through communication and bringing change, we felt like, well, we can embark on this campaign. At least within our environs, within UPSA environs, people should hear about it, go to the clinic and test and know their status. So that is the motivation behind this project.
And aside that, seeing the huge success this campaign is, we were wondering whether this is just going to be a one-time thing, or every year the development communication students will pick up a campaign or an agenda and then execute it.
Yes, that's very true. I don't intend ending it here. In fact, this even campaign, I don't intend ending it here on our campuses. There's a saying that charity begins at home. So I started with my immediate environment, which is UPSA. I intend making it viral, go national, so that people will test. And to your question, yes, this is not be a one-time thing. Every year, when I have development communicators as students, we try to embark on different campaigns on issues that are not taught, that have not been given the awareness. There are so many minorities within our society, so many issues that people do not talk about it, yet it's affecting the majority. So we as communicators who stand for the marginalized, would like to embark on different projects each year when I have new development communication students.
There it is. We have heard it all. Please get tested for G6PD and know the status. Avoid your triggers.
Yeah. My expectation after this event is that everybody can be able to test and know their G6PD status, and also they'll be educated on the deficiency. And as time goes on, everybody around Ghana will know about it.
G6PD test should be one of our priorities. This morning we have gathered here to learn more about G6PD. We have our resource persons who will be here to expatiate on the topic. And I believe that by the time we are done, we have more knowledge. This is our purpose of gathering this morning. Thank you.
This program is the first of its kind in the department. Okay. That has been spearheaded by a lecturer in the communications department. Yes, and in addition to that, the fact that she has been able to organize you, beyond our faculty guest lectures when I compel you to be class. She has been able to organize you, galvanize you, and then get you to meet here this morning. It shows you that the purpose for our gathering today is indeed very, very significant.
G6PD, headache, back pain, stress, fatigue, jaundice. These are the signs of G6PD. How did I get it? Here's my story. I am usually a hard worker, arriving early to work, making submissions on time. You see my muscle, I work out 8 days a week, but all of a sudden, I feel very tired. My skin looks pale, my reading has changed color. I think my wife is doing this to me, maybe because I spoke about a female co-worker the last time. She's changing my diet. I'm used to the early morning bambu with okra soup with some crabs on the side, or anti-berry swatche with plenty curry and shito. All of a sudden, my food portion has been downside. My wife is giving me rice and some fava beans on the side. Fava beans? What is concerned with fava beans? Is it favor granted by the Lord? Headache, back pain, stress, fatigue, jaundice. These are the symptoms of G6PD.
How did I find out? The doctor said so. I wanted to switch things up a little by adding rice and fava beans to our plan. Aspirin in place of paracetamol to make us feel better. Little did I know that I was turning things upside down. Because after some few days, he started to pain me sleep.
He said the ache and back the pain, stress levels are high and doesn't feel very fun.
What could have been the reason? I rushed him over to the doctors and he got tested. It turns out he has G6PD, a condition causing his red blood cells to break down in response to certain foods, medication and other stresses. G6PD, glucose-6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. It's a genetic abnormality that results in an inadequate amount of glucose-6-phosphate dehydrogenase in the blood. And this condition is very common among women. It can be treated by aspirin, fava beans, and other drugs. It is lifelong or can last a few years. It cannot be cured, but it can be managed. Treatment can help. It requires a medical diagnosis. Get tested. You will be fine.
So G6PD stands for glucose-6-phosphate dehydrogenase. It's the name of an enzyme that almost all of us here have in our system. Okay, there are several enzymes in the body that perform several roles, and G6PD is just one of those enzymes that is in the body that helps the normal functioning of red blood cells in the body. And you will know that our blood is made up of red blood cells, white blood cells, a lot of fluid and serum and other things. And the key thing in our blood is our red blood cells. And these red blood cells, like every cell in the body, and that goes what we call metabolism, to function well, it has to produce energy, it has to release waste, it has to perform its roles. And in the process of doing that, it produces certain waste byproducts, which have to be cleared from the system. When the waste is too much, it becomes too toxic for the red blood cells and they break down. So this enzyme, G6PD, glucose-6-phosphate dehydrogenase, performs an important role of neutralizing the toxic substances so the red blood cells can survive longer and perform their function well.
And I know we'll be coming there to test. So this is in a small way to support the university clinic.
This has been an Afrida News production. Join us next time.